Morning.
Pastor Bobby, Pastor Lance, I'd like to introduce you to our class. This is the graduating class and a few people who are going to be with us in this semester. You guys are up on the big screen and they can hear you really loud. So Pastor Bobby, who's pictured here, is the worship pastor at Calvary Chapel Smoky Mountains in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. I'm sorry, I'm very poorly. Tennessee.
How far are you guys from Columbia, Tennessee?
First question, already coming in. How far are you from Columbia, Tennessee?
Columbia. I'm not really sure where that's at. We are in East Tennessee, about an hour outside of Knoxville. 253 miles. Columbia, Tennessee is West Tennessee. We're pretty far east Tennessee. It's about a 7.5 hour drive across the whole state if you were to go left to right.
Tennessee's beautiful.
Pastor Lance is the senior pastor. They're already saying, here in the classroom, those who have been saying, Tennessee is gorgeous. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys and let you talk about what's going on there.
Hey guys and gals, hey, congratulations, man. Getting ready to step out. Just first of all, my name's Lance. I'm from Southern California as well. I grew up in Riverside, and Bobby just moved here 3 years ago to San Diego area. So you probably noticed we don't sound like we're from Tennessee. It's because we're not. But I drive around every day saying, thank you, Lord, for calling me here. It's a beautiful place. We are the #1 tourist destination anywhere in the country. So I'm glad that God called us here. The ministry, the mission field is wide open. From visitors coming, from people moving here. I would say every week, probably 10 to 50% of the people that come to our church are looking to move here or they have just moved here. So it's kind of a melting pot for really people from all over the world or all over the country. As far as the ministry here, we planted this church 4.5 years ago. And what happened was there was a group of about 10 or 15 people that were having home fellowship out of Calvary, Knoxville, which is about an hour drive from here. And they had been praying for a Calvary Chapel in this area. And so me and my wife, we moved back from Haiti. We were full-time missionaries. We felt called to plant this church. And 4.5 years ago, we planted with 10 or 15 people. Since then, the ministry's growing. And we're not a big church. We're a fairly small church. But the exciting thing is we just moved into our new building. And things are growing. Things are really developing here, and so it was a pretty exciting time to be part of Calvary Chapel Smoky Mountains in East Tennessee right now. And so with that, I'd like to turn it over to Bobby. He would be kind of overseeing what needs to be done going forward. Yeah. So like Pastor Lance said, we can definitely use some help. We're growing right now. COVID. We grew a lot during COVID. We grew quite a bit during COVID. And eventually, we lost some people, and still, of course, a few that haven't come back. But we've probably doubled or tripled in size. I'd say probably close to tripled in size from, say, like a year and a half ago, maybe 40, 50, maybe 60. If everybody was there to 120, 150, something like that, over the last month and a half. And so we've been growing a lot, and that's a good thing. It's an exciting thing, and it's awesome to see that happen, but of course there's growing pains that come with it. And I'd say one of the biggest areas we need help in, and maybe this is one of you guys' skill sets, we are really needing help with, as a lot of churches are, with all things related to online streaming. We have one camera right now, and it's not really that great of a picture that we're getting out of it. So we're going to have probably a 2 or 3 little multicam setup. And we would like somebody to be able to come out and kind of be, to really help out and support us, and do everything that is needed in regards to that media booth. So that'd be video production, helping with Pro Presenter. We don't have anything
we have some pretty cool lighting set up, but nothing that's dynamic throughout the set. So I don't, maybe that's, we're not, I would like to do something like that, but that would need to be in somebody's skill set. I don't want to force anything. So online is really where we're needing a big help with. That would be, again, working cameras or video switching, working with audio online, working with social media, those kind of posts, maybe creating videos, all that kind of, basically everything online. And a lot of these things I can do, but I can't because I don't have the time to do it. And so we've been trying to, I was able to stretch a little bit thinner in these areas when there was only about 40 or 50 people, but there's just more people to minister to now, and we'd like to continue to move forward as a church. And right now, we have been growing, and we're still growing, and we got a lot of people coming down from
People moving here.
people, yeah. So, and like Lance said, Pigeon Forge, really it's Sevierville and Pigeon Forge are two towns that are butted up to each other. A lot of people visit this area, and it's pretty beautiful. And they end up moving here, 2 or 3 years later. So a lot of people are moving to the area and fleeing some of the other states, and so we're seeing growth. And we could use help. So some of the other things that would go on, a lot of it would just be help with running. Like Lance said, we got into a new building, a 10,000. We were in a strip mall before for the last 3 years. Now we have a big metal building out here. Not huge, but it's like 10,000 square feet, and so we have most of everything set up. But as we continue to try and plan ahead and kind of rethink things that we're doing, there's always things, and we have 20-foot ceilings in the sanctuary, and so running cables is not as easy as it used to be. So any time we do updates or add lighting or anything with the sound or video, there's obviously cables and stuff that got to get run up in the top of the sanctuary there. So that kind of stuff. And then one thing I don't want to forget to mention is, and I'm not really super familiar. I'm familiar with like of course internship and all that kind of stuff, but I know that some churches, especially churches that are in the several hundred or larger, just have interns come in and help and do as asked and all that kind of stuff. And of course, that's what we need, but I also understand that a lot of times it's a temporary thing. So what I'm really wanting, and this is something that I'm really big on in everything that we do, is not just coming in, doing a job, and then moving on or moving forward, but actually coming in and helping to be part of a culture, help to create a culture, and help to build a team. So not only coming in and doing these things, but we're at the size where we need people to be able to come in and do these things and get a handle on them, and then start to raise up other people to do these things and train other people to do these things. And then that way, as we move forward, there's room and flexibility to continue to kind of innovate and do what we need to do to grow, to continue to, not to grow, but to continue to keep up with the growth in terms of like the worship and all that kind of stuff. So we do everything, it's pretty contemporary style of worship and everything. And our setting and everything's pretty contemporary style. And I kind of want to, I don't ever want to fall behind. I kind of want to stay up with everything. So, yeah. So, anyways.
Yeah, any questions?
Let's open it up for a time of questions. Anybody got anything? So I'll ask a few questions, and hopefully this will spur on a few more. All of our students, I told you that there's quite a few of them that work with video, and maybe this would be a good connection for you guys, but all of our students are cross-trained in the ministry. So, meaning they've done video, they've done youth, they've done children's ministry, they've had tons of opportunities to teach. And I want to be hesitant to put it this way, but I think it'll help us all understand. Are there ministry opportunities where I would say like teaching, or like working with youth or children, or things where all of our video people at our church, to be a multi-hat wearing intern to where you might be teaching a Bible study over here, running a video production team over here, training yourself out of the job with a video production team. What's your heart for that kind of stuff, guys?
And obviously, since we're a fairly small church, growing church, yeah, there's needs. We have needs in our youth group. We're getting ready to launch a Sunday morning junior high group, so there's needs there. Of course, children's ministry is always one of those areas where there's always going to be needs, so there's always needs there. And then we do a Wednesday night. What we're doing on Wednesday nights, we're doing our life group. We're getting ready to launch this fall, going into home fellowship. So we're not having a Wednesday service here at the church per se. We're going to be having multiple home fellowships. And so there'll be times, for somebody to step in and kind of lead that as we go forward. So as far as teaching opportunities, there'll be plenty of them.
Yeah.
Any other questions, guys?
Yeah, can they explain some of the equipment that they're using?
Pastor Bobby, I think this question is more for you. What equipment are you using, and what equipment would you like to upgrade to?
Okay, so we're not using very much right now, and it's an area that we have been just kind of getting by with what we have. I feel convicted that everything we do in ministry should be done with excellence, and so if we're going to do it, we should do it to the best of our ability. And if we're not going to put effort forth to make it the best of our ability, then we should probably not do it or reconsider. So right now we have one camera. It's a PTZ camera. Because of our kind of a low light setting, it's just not giving us a very good picture. And so we're going to be I'm looking at a couple different cameras. I don't know if you guys are really familiar with cameras, but some of the popular ones I've seen would be like the GH7s, or my brother's actually a photographer out there in San Diego, Scott, and him and his wife did this, and so they sent a bunch of suggestions as well. But we're in the process. We have a list together of getting probably about 2 or 3 cameras, running it through a video switcher, the A10 Mini Pro, which I know is a fairly common one. If you guys have used that, and then have it landed on right now we're using vMix, which is not really ideal. In terms of our audio mixing, I'll probably go get something, we're gonna get an iMac Mini, and run it through just a monitor there, a sound loop, so that we can run our audio properly, because right now we're basically just using a send from our soundboard, and it's a mono send, and it just doesn't work well for audio online. And so we're going to be getting a Mac back there, Mac Mini dedicated to that specifically, so that we can run audio, we can run video, and do all of those kind of things. So
Awesome. Any more questions, guys?
Do they have a place to stay for like single or like a job for some of you guys?
So, some of our students are single, some of our students are married. I think we talked about this, Pastor Lance, at the East Coast Conference when we were talking. But, to ask a young person to move across the country, the best way to accommodate, to help that and facilitate that process would be to provide a spot to live. And so, do you have a living situation? And then would you be able to accommodate husband and wife and a child or two?
Yeah, we have one. We haven't announced anything to the church obviously yet, but I have talked to one guy, Stan Linder. He was an assistant pastor for Mountain Wild for many years in Florida, but they moved up here, and I told him about it, and he's offered this place. He's got a beautiful log home about 10 minutes from the church, and there's a pretty sized bedroom. They would have their own bathroom and access to the kitchen with kind of a common area. They have a really nice deck off the back. It's a beautiful spot. And keep in mind, that's just one person that's offered their place. So if we were to, someone were to say, hey, we want to go out to Pigeon Forge, we can rent it out honest with the church, probably have multiple places to stay if someone chooses. So we definitely have places for them to stay.
Awesome. And then for bringing an intern out, do you want them completely focused at the church, or do you probably want them? We've sent people out to a number of different situations to get a part-time job and that be part of the intern. Like you talk to a local contractor, local business owner, help facilitate getting them a job so that they have some pay their car insurance and their cell phone bills and put food on the table, that kind of stuff. Do you have opportunities like that, or is the church going to keep them focused and provide those needs?
Okay, so in terms of all of those things, like Pastor Lance said, we do have at least one place that's absolutely secured for. I would say this space would be ideal for a single person or a married couple who does not have kids. And if you have kids and it's in the Lord's will, I know that there would be a place that opens up. In terms of the job situation, so we would probably ask that whoever comes out would be giving 20 hours of time or so to the church to do that, and then of course more is welcome. In terms of the getting a job and all that kind of stuff, you have to get a part-time job. Now I will say the job market out here as of right now, you can get a job. I think this is pretty national, but man, especially in our area, you can get a job doing just about anything right now in this area. Every business, we're a very touristy area, so there's a lot of restaurants and dinner shows, and of course it's not the smallest little town, it's a pretty good size. The county is 100,000 people, and so it's not like a little tiny town in the middle of Tennessee. But there's a lot of tourism, and so there's a lot of job opportunities. Minimum wage out here, just to give you an idea, minimum wage out here is I think $7.25, right? $7.25 in Tennessee. I would say the average entry level fast food place is hiring in about $14 an hour right now, just because there's so much need. In fact, there's a Dairy Queen right down the street from us that said, I'm assuming for a similar pay position, it said whatever you're making, we'll give you $2 more if you come over here. People are desperate for people's work, so getting a job right now would be no issue. I actually work still part-time at Home Depot, which is in the area here. I know that there are currently, just to give you an idea, there's 25 positions open at Home Depot I'm at, 0 applications.
That's crazy.
0 applications.
Insane.
So, and actually there was 3 applications. I know my boss, he had 3 applications that came in. He called all 3 of them and nobody showed up. So you can get a job just about anywhere right now in this area. And I don't know if it's the same where you guys are, but getting a job would be no problem. And again, 14 an hour out here is a lot. It's a lot different than 14 an hour. I mean, I'm from San Diego. I'm from Vista. I came from Calvary Chapel Vista, right there south of the area, and so I know cost of living there is like $2,100 sometimes for a 2-bedroom apartment. Maybe half of that here. So $14 an hour is a lot different out here. Of course, you guys aren't going to be, you won't have to pay rent or do anything like that. But cost of living is a lot less, and you can get a job pretty much. In fact, if you need a job at Home Depot, I can get you a job today. I guarantee you I could. I used to be one of the key carriers there as before I was able to be on staff here. I was a key carrier for them for a couple of years, and I could get pretty much anybody a job, any of you guys a job there pretty darn quickly. So getting a job would be no issue, so I hope that answers the question.
Awesome. Any other questions? David?
Is there any tradesmen in the church?
This young man is looking to be trained by a tradesman in the church, and he's involved in our video team too. Are there any tradesmen that could maybe teach the trade?
What kind of trade?
I'm an HVAC
Yes, we have a guy that goes to our church that owns Sevierville Electric, and that's what they do. They do HVAC and air conditioning, heaters, and all that. And he's also the guy currently running our video system.
Yeah.
So I'll get your number to them and you their number so you can ask all the very niche questions that you want to. David niche. All right. Any other questions? All right. Well, Pastor Lance, Pastor Bobby, will you guys pray for the class? And then I'll get you the names of those interested, and we'll move on from here.
And before I pray, I know you guys gotta go, but I do want to just add before we pray, you guys alluded to this, of course, coming out and being a part of what's going on out here, we're excited for what's going on, and we're seeing growth and everything, but our job obviously is to, is more than to run video and more than to be a part of the practical things of the church. And so I would ask that you spend time in prayer because, we're really looking for somebody to come out here and really be ready for however long you're out here, to love, primarily is to love on the people who are here and to impact some of the lives. Man, we have a few new believers who just gave their lives to the Lord like in the last month, and so there's a lot of cool relationships to be built, especially with people who need someone to glean from. So we're looking for somebody to love on people, and then I would also just ask that, and I know you guys will do this, but I would ask that you guys would really pray over this, because I know, just 3 years ago, I moved myself and my wife, and at the time we had one kid. We have our third on the way now, across from San Diego out to Tennessee, and we were praying and seeking after the Lord every step of the way. He gave us about one step at a time, and that's okay. We had to learn to be okay with that. But I know that if it's in the Lord's will, He's going to provide. We had everything that we needed provision for was provided for when we needed it. And so I would pray that rather than seeking, like, Lord, is this going to fit practically for me? It would be more of a prayer like, Lord, is this where you want me to be? Is this really where you want me to be? Because I'll be honest with you guys, if it's not in the Lord's will for you to be here, we don't really want you here. But we want you to be here if it's in the Lord's will. And so, does that make sense? And so I would ask that you guys really be seeking that this is in the Lord's will, because I know that God will provide if this is the place He wants you to be. I think there's a lot of really cool things that He's doing down here. And again, if it's in His will, it'd be sweet, I think, for one of you guys to be a part of that. So with that, yeah. I'll pray, sure. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you. God, we thank you for this opportunity, God, to even just have this meeting across the country with this technology. And Lord, I pray that as we have just kind of made our needs known over here, God, if it's in your will, if someone's sitting in the room there, God, if it's your will, God, would you begin to just stir it in their hearts now that they would begin to feel that calling, that they would hear you calling and pulling them out here. And then, God, would you begin to just open it up one door at a time, God, to just confirm in their hearts that this is where you want them to be. And God, ultimately, God, we all just want to serve you. Lord, we all just want to be in your will. And we want to be effective for your kingdom and effective for just carrying out the work that you have for us here. And so, God, we ask that you would just begin to work. And God, again, if it's in your will, Lord, that you would send one out here to God, to just be part of what's going on out here. God, I ask that you just bless this time. God, bless everyone in that room, and Lord, I pray that you would just bring a lot of fruit out of each one of their ministries. We pray this in your name. Amen.
Amen.